What's up, YouTube? Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. My Saturday has been great so far. Spent the morning with the girls. We did an hour workout this morning, all three of us. That was awesome. That went by really fast. And then we've spent the rest of the day watching soccer. We follow FC Barcelona and a few other teams in La Liga, which is a Premier League team. Premier League. And we just love that, doing that as a family. You know, I love the weekends in particular around the vlog because it allows me some time to reflect on kind of larger picture ideas because I'm not so busy with the other day-to-day things. I'd actually written out a few days ago this topic that I wanted to talk about, again, in a very rare showing here. I have actually written out what I wanted to share with you folks. As you well know, I crossed 100 episodes on the vlog. Really happy about that. I've survived 1/3 of the way to the end, or a little less at this point in time. At every stage, I want to be able to have a review, a little bit of a retrospective, and to share with you folks, you fine folks who have been walking with me over the last 100 or so days, what I've learned and kind of the insights that I've been able to take away from the journey so far. Maybe these might be applicable to your projects or whatever you're working on as well. So here are 4 significant things that have come up, or lessons learned, if you will, over the last 100 or so episodes of this vlog. So here we go. The first one is that it took a long time to become super comfortable on the camera for this vlog. I thought it would actually come a lot sooner, but there was a very distinct episode around 90, or I think episode 90 or 91, where I finally felt like I hit a point where I could stare into this camera here, and I felt really good about it. If you've been following, you may have even seen a fairly significant shift in the way that I communicate with this device and with you folks through it. But I think that the key takeaway here is that it took 90 plus episodes for me to get comfortable. And just the thought of that, if you sit there for a moment and you just think about that it took 90 days, 90 plus episodes of doing this for me finally to feel like, whew, I've got a good pace, I feel really comfortable in my own digital video skin, if you will. That's a lot longer than I had hoped. I really felt like it would have come sooner, but distinctly in that week, and the 90th episode or so, is how long it took me to feel authentic. And I guess here's the principle out of the first one to take away, is that it takes work to be authentic. It takes work to be authentic. In other words, you have to practice being authentic to be authentic, which is interesting, right? Is kind of an interesting mindset, if you will. Is why would you have to practice being authentic? Well, because it's hard to be authentic. It's hard to express clearly and concisely and honestly about your feelings in a new medium. And I think there's many reasons for that, but what I've been challenged to do, what I think many people know what it's like, is you have to almost deconstruct, de-engineer, re-engineer your own thoughts around a particular new medium. Yeah, deconstruct and kind of destroy the mental barriers that exist, the biases that you had that you didn't even know you had, the blind spots that you had, and become illumined to them. So it takes work to be authentic. Who would have thought? The second thing, and I wrote this down here, is that people are willing to join your journey. And that's cool, and I appreciate that. It's been awesome. I love the community that we're building. Although people are willing to join you in your journey, it's not your job, it's not my job, to question why. And I think over the last 90 or so, 100 days, that's a question that I've wrestled with, is essentially, why are these people following? Why are these people engaged? Why do they tune in every single day? And with the intention of if I can solve that, if I can answer that question of why they're following me, then perhaps I can optimize my content around that motive so as to scale and grow faster. And of course, you can begin to see how ridiculous that is. One, how will I really know why people tune in? But two, it's not important that I get to answer that question. It's not important that I know why someone follows someone else online, why they do what they do. It's just impossible to answer. But two, it's not. I don't need to know that to continue to create value. So I just wrote here, it's not my job to question motive. Instead, it is my opportunity to continue to engage and to be excited and surprised around the magic of being human. That there's this mystery of why we gravitate towards certain people, why we want to be around certain people, why we want to marry certain people. You know, it's like, and we can try to engineer those things or diagnose those things, but you can't. And so in the last 100 or so episodes, I have stopped asking that question. I've stopped asking or internally questioning, hey, I wonder why these people are tuning in, and well, if I knew that, then I can optimize my channel. Like, no, that's stupid. That's pointless. But just something I just had to walk through and encounter over the last 100 or so episodes. Number 3, simpler is better. It's been really interesting over the last 100 episodes. You've seen me experiment with tools and technology, different camera angles, different use of images. You've seen me integrate different videos from movies, and I've tried to be somewhat funny, and I use emojis, and essentially what I've been doing, which is good, is I've been experimenting with the medium. I've been experimenting with how I communicate the information that I want to communicate to you folks. And I've tried to identify patterns of what I feel works, what I feel doesn't, what lands flat. But I think, to be honest, is that over the course of 100 episodes, I've created complexity around my production, decreased complexity, increased complexity, decreased, and there's this ebb and flow. And where I am right now, is it's much simpler. I don't spend so much time in editing and adding emojis all the time. I try to add one or two that really add some punch or impact or whatever. Man, that is super helpful for me. But the point is that I've over-engineered. It is easier to over-engineer a video, a vlog, a creative project, or relationships perhaps. It is so much easier to over-engineer something like that than keep it simple. And I think a lot of my insecurity, I think the manifestation of a lot of the over-engineering was based on my insecurity. Simply put, as I watch professionals, as I watch full-time folks who do this for a living, create these complex narratives, these complex videos that just are visually stunning, or that perfect audio. That's my insecurity. To feel like, man, if I don't do it that way, if I don't do it the way that they do it, no one's going to tune in, no one's going to care, and I'm just going to be a failure. And that also is not the point either. I think it's taken 100 or so episodes to come to that conclusion, to be okay with being me, and to realize that it is completely unfair for me to compare myself, a hobbyist, part-time, whatever, not even part-time, just when I can, and compare myself and my situation to someone who's doing this full-time, who's committed their entire life and full-time resources to production of video. Like, I can't do that. That's not where I am, and that's been a good lesson learned. And finally, number 4 is that I need to come back to my original goal, and to stay true to it, and how difficult it is to stay true to an original commitment. My commitment, my goal was very simple. There was one metric: vlog every day for 365 days. Publish one thing. If it was 15 seconds or 15 minutes, it doesn't matter. And yet over time, even over the last 100 or so episodes, I've added additional layers, additional metrics of success. Even the 10,000 subscriber goal that I have, which I still think is cool, but the point is that is a distraction. that is extraneous to the core original goal. And again, it's so easy to veer off course. In fact, it's so insidious. It's so subtle. By the time you're all the way down the lane, you realize, holy cow, I've completely diverted off of the original course. And that, I feel like I know what that's like, because I do that to myself all the time. And so I have to constantly remind myself that my goal is simple. Push publish, hit upload, one time a day. That's it. And if I'm able to do that, then I'm a success. Then I can feel really good about my creative project. It's the pressure that I've put on myself to do all these extra things and try to be more creative than I need to, and create embellishments and over engineering, and all of that is extraneous. It's superficial, and it's not me. And so those have been 4 significant lessons learned, or revelations, or things of maturity, I guess, in the last 100 or so episodes that I just wanted to share with you. And maybe, hopefully, maybe some of these things can be applied to some of the things that you're doing. But I think in any creative project, part of your process, part of your weekly, not daily, but maybe weekly or monthly, is a little bit of a retrospective. A time for you to sit down, be introspective, write it out if you can, if you have to, and just meditate about what you're working on, and ask yourself, am I still on track? Am I doing what I originally set out to do? Am I hitting that mark? What's gone wrong? What has changed? Has my perspective or opinion changed about the project? Maybe you're over it. And I think those are all good, hard, important questions to ask. I think most people just don't sit down and take the time to ask them. So that's about it. Very simple episode, very simple show today, and but an important one that felt like I wanted to share with you folks. But that's about it. You guys have a great Saturday, and I will see you guys tomorrow.